I guess part of the mystery could just be everything. When you listen to the analysts, the insiders, the reporters talk about the North Carolina football team, us included, I've used the word mystery a bunch. There's so much unknown. Biggest mystery in college football. And if you don't believe me, here's Heather Dinich, who covers college football for ESPN.
North Carolina is the biggest mystery in college football. Even Bill Belichick doesn't know what he has. His players haven't really put on the pads yet, particularly on the offensive and defensive lines. These guys have to go against each other and hit each other. This is an unheralded roster full of transfers, unproven playmakers at different positions all over the field, and an entirely new defense. The biggest thing they have going for them is a manageable schedule. It's winnable. It's about 70th in the country in terms of difficulty. They don't leave the state more than 3 times.
That is Heather Dinich of ESPN. So just to... this is a window into my brain. I don't know if you want to look in too much. But when there starts to be a groupthink, when everyone's saying the same things, I get nervous. Okay, so I've been saying they're a mystery, they're a mystery, they're a mystery. And now all the reporters are saying they're a mystery, they're a mystery, they're a mystery. So my brain goes to, let's go to the exact opposite and see if we can figure it out. What do we know? Hard and fast. What do we know about UNC football this year? We don't even know who's going to start at quarterback, even though we think we know. It's not hard and fast. It's not locked in, right? They haven't announced a starter. So what do we know? Think we can come up with 3 things? Just 3 things that we can start on. That's our foundation. We can build everything off of. 3 things that we might know about UNC. I'm going to start with a very simple one. I think the defense is going to be solid. I think we know the defense will be solid. Just because there's new players, just because there's a lot of transfers, you got to give respect where respect is due. It's still a Belichick defense. It's still a Belichick defense. Actually, it's a triple Belichick defense. Brian Belichick's the secondaries coach. Steve Belichick's the defensive coordinator. Bill Belichick's the head coach. If you put that many Belichicks together, the defense will be solid. I'm not saying it's going to be best in the league. I'm not saying they're going to give up 10 points a game, but I am saying they're not going to be a pushover. Their scheme will be solid. Their defense will keep them in games if they need to at times. And I don't think it's unfair to go, hey, it's a mystery who's going to be playing where. It's a mystery which, player will be the star. But it's still, you give them a month, that defense will be good. Another thing I think we know. We know their style of play. You know what's not going to happen? They're not the UNC Tar Heels with Bill Belichick coaching and a bunch of new guys on offense are not going to go out there and be the Mike Leach air raid, right? They're not going to go out there and be Bailey Zappi at Western Kentucky. They're going to go out there and they're going to try to control the ball. They're going to be quote unquote pro style, which I think is funny because the pro game is actually going more and more towards what we would call a college style. But Belichick has always been a pro style guy. Right, they're gonna run to establish the pass. They're going to go full. If it ain't broken, don't fix it type of deal. I want to be clear here. It took Bill Belichick until he had Randy Moss and Tom Brady to really open up the offense. He had Tom Brady for years, and people were going like, his statistics aren't nearly what Peyton Manning's are. The knock against him was his passing volume and passing stats, even though he's winning a bunch. And Belichick never wavered until they got him the second best wide receiver to ever live? Fine, we'll throw it. Barring Randy Moss walking through Kenan Stadium's tunnel, the Patriots are going to try to control the clock. They're going to try to get a lead and win ugly. And then the last thing we know. They will not be coached with fear. If things aren't working, they'll change them. It is easily the thing I find most admirable about Bill Belichick's coaching career in the NFL. Is so many other coaches appear to be coaching scared. And if he believes something, he does it. I mean, the Tom Brady decision is the most obvious, but he used to cut second-round picks before their second year in the NFL. If he watched him for a year in practice, if he watched him for a year in games, and he went, you know what, doesn't have what I thought he had when we drafted him, he would cut him. No other coach or GM was doing that. Well, give him time. Oh, let's try him in a new position. Oh, let's get him set up with a new nutritionist. Oh, let's change. No, if he doesn't have it, he doesn't have it, and he would move on. Or there was a game where Mac Jones. This is maybe from the biggest example of Tom Brady to the smallest example. They were playing Buffalo, and the wind was brutal, and it was snowing, and Mac Jones couldn't throw the ball. So Bill Belichick just went, we're not going to try. He had like 3 attempts, and they won the game against Buffalo. When every other coach is going, we got to find a way to keep them honest. We got to find a way to keep them balanced. Belichick was like, no. We're running the ball, and they're not stopping us enough. We'll just keep doing that. So if 2 weeks in, UNC looks horrendous, if they get smoked by TCU on Monday Night Football in the first game, one thing we know is they're not just going to keep bashing their head against the wall. If they need to make a quarterback change, if they need to make a defensive front change, if they need to do something, they will. Which I do think gives you a bit of optimism for the entirety of the season. I do not like coaches that have a system, right? My system works. This is what we run. And whether the players have a skill set to match that system or not, they're running the system. And if it's not working, it's the players' fault. Bill Belichick has never been that. You can ask, people call him the best defensive mind of a generation, right? You can ask other defensive coaches or other offensive coaches, what does he run? What is he a 4 down front, 3 down front? Does he like having the extra defensive back out there? It's going to be, oh gosh, we played him once in week 2 and week 3, and they were 2 completely different defenses. He's multiple, he's adjustable, he's flexible. So we don't know much, I would say, about their roster. We don't know much about their talent level. I do think there's certain things we know about UNC football. More importantly, certain things we know that the guy running the show values. So those are going to be the building blocks that he tries to build upon, so we can also kind of build our image of UNC around those things as well. Now, we don't know who's going to be quarterback. If it's Gio Lopez, I would expect a little bit more running from the quarterback position. And if Gio Lopez has, a great first month, maybe they do open up the offense a little bit. We don't know how that's going to develop. If it's Max Johnson, I would expect more max protection. No pun intended, but I would expect a guy coming off that injury with his mobility beforehand, not even being the craziest. You would expect to keep your running back in protection more, an extra tight end on the field, and give him as much time as possible. And if he has a great first month, maybe then they start opening it up. What do you know about UNC, Dennis? Anything else that I'm missing that is known?
I think we just understand that schematically. I think we understand that, at least defensively, that they're going to have a pretty good defense, at least in terms of scheme.
They'll be sound.
Now, in terms of personnel, we just simply don't know. I mean, that's really it. We know that these guys they know football, obviously. They don't have the success without obviously being great at what they do. But the question is, can these young guys understand it? How quickly can they pick it up?
I agree.
Because you got to look at it as you're throwing college freshmen into graduate level stuff right away. It's like, well, wait a second, I haven't finished my undergrad yet.
or at least college juniors. A lot of transfers on that team. I don't know how many freshmen they'll be depending on, but they're young. They're not NFL 7-year vets.
Exactly.
Yeah.